But the thing is, though, but this is why I'm like, maybe there's certain types of footballers that really can't do it together. Like it's you have to almost kind of like do two things at once. You have to carry the ball and dribble as well. Some
Yeah,
people can only do one thing at a time. And I think
yeah,
maybe Anthony, that's why he struggles in with, but that's why you have to learn in it. Like, you know what I mean? You've got to learn, like practice makes perfect. Like you can actually do it. Because you know what it is though? People say he's not quick, yeah. He is quick. Let's not do this. He is quick,
he
yeah.
is quick. He
But
just doesn't. He's not
he can't
direct.
do both things at once. He can't
Mm,
juggle the two together. He can't dribble and
mm,
run and do a step over, and he can't. So that's why I'm like, why not just be
mm,
direct then and just be good at being direct? Like
mm.
Rafinha, for me, if you look at Rafinha, yeah, like I like him, but then I don't like him. But there's sometimes I say to myself, at least sometimes he's a bit more efficient. Like, but then
Mm.
again, he's not that sort of player. That's why Rafinha plays for Brazil more than
Yeah, he's
Anthony does.
more
Because
no
at the end of the
frills,
day,
no spills. He does the tracking back, but he doesn't overcomplicate the game, even though he doesn't necessarily have an end product either, but
either.
he tries to
But
be
it's a bit more polished though. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's not
Mm.
the traditional
It's a bit
Brazilian.
more
So this is what
reliable.
I'm trying to say.
You know what I mean? More than
Yeah,
polished. It's a bit more reliable.
th- yeah. But this is what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like for me, the new Brazilians right now, I feel like it's like when you know what I mean, you go back home and like, if I went back home to Somalia, they know, like, they have this word in Somali, it's called daga Elisia, where they know you've gone to Europe and you've been kind of westernized, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like with
You
Anthony
yeah,
now, I
you
don't know,
lose the
man.
madness in it.
You lose the madness, bro. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like with Antony now, like, has he,
Mm.
like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, where's that Brazilian magic? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, has he come to Ajax and just learned the Dutch way? Like, the thing is, yeah, he's come to Ajax, and I feel like they've just kind of obviously he's had to be brainwashed into playing total football. You play to our way, and I think managers sometimes they need to have a bit of balance, man. Like, let players do what they've got to do, but then also, what I mean, let it fit into the system. I don't know, man. Like Ronaldinho, like when that's why for me, Ronaldinho didn't work with Pep Guardiola. Like Pep Guardiola was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Yo,
yeah,
I
yeah,
want you to
yeah,
play a
yeah.
certain
That's
way."
spot on. That's
I-
spot on. That was never gonna work. That was never gonna work.
It was never going to work. So what happened was he went to AC Milan and then carried on what he was doing, and he's doing
Cooking,
all the flicks
bro.
and tricks. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Cooking people. So I'm
Mm.
just like, at least say to us, yeah, like, you know what? Okay, then, right? You're not going to give us your skills and tricks, but then be direct. And that's where I'm kind of like, because he's doing the tricks, but then he's also being direct. I'm like, give me one or the other then, because I feel like that's what it's coming down to now. Because people are not seeing efficiency, so they're like, okay, show us a bit of flair then, so then we can say, you know what, we can believe in you more.
Mm.
So, bro, it's crazy, man. It's crazy, bro. Like I
No,
don't know, man.
you know what it is, yeah? Like it's a strange one, isn't it? Because it's almost like I feel like it's a confidence thing from him. And the reason why I say that is because when you watch what he's doing in the Dutch league, it's almost like it was too easy for him. So
Too
that's
easy,
why
too
that's why
easy.
he was doing stuff that he's not doing here, innit? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like this is what it is. I think it was too easy for him. And then this now is a step up. And I think he's almost trying to play too safe. Do you know what
yes,
I'm saying? He's almost trying to play too safe. And his natural game is not really that because you see when he plays for Brazil, yeah, or when you see when we're winning and the
yeah,
pressure's off, he starts doing madness and flicking it like what he done to Dan Burn and that. Like when the pressure's
yeah,
off,
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah, yeah,
starts
yeah.
flicking it over people's heads and doing all that stuff, but he doesn't do it at 0-0. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
Now,
no.
and that's what it is. So for me, I feel like it might be the weight of the badge, bro. You know them ones like someone said that they don't think he was ready for the step up. I think it's more the weight of the badge and the
You
expectation,
think so?
and
Because I
maybe
think
the
he's
price
confident
tag as
though.
well.
I think he's confident. I don't think he looks like to me a guy who's been. It
Nah,
looks
but
like
I
a guy
think
who's
he's
pressured.
outwardly confident, but
Oh, okay,
inside
but
he
inside,
ain't confident. You know, like that.
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
and
maybe,
and the reason why I say that is because if you
yeah,
look at how he plays, it's like Neymar would do a rainbow flick at 0-0, bruv, like 5 minutes into the game. You know them ones like he doesn't
yeah,
care, bro.
because he's got that aura. Because he's
Yeah,
got
he
that
just do
aura.
it 5 minutes into at 0-0, bruv. Like, because that's how he plays.
Yeah,
Antony will wait till we're 2-0 up and then start doing the spin and all that. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, cool, we're 2-0 up. But it's like, bro, that confidence is only there when things are going well, innit? And some players are like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of footballers that are kind of like that, bro. They're very much, it depends on which way the wind blows on the day, innit? Do you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's just what it is. So I feel like he needs to either believe in himself, or if he doesn't, it's gonna be silly. Do you know what I'm saying? It's gonna
yeah,
be silly
yeah.
because what will happen is he'll stifle himself, because some players are better when they don't think too much. And I think he's one of those players, isn't it? But I
That's a
feel
good
like
point,
he's
you know.
overthinking everything right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, and that's a good point, you know. But then again, then I have to question the manager then in terms of I'm not saying don't buy every single player from the Dutch league, yeah, but we've got to have a little bit of a like realization that not every player will be suited to the league. Like maybe the Ten Hag think, right, all my guys that were doing well for me and doing well in my system would do well in the Premier League. Well, I think sometimes it doesn't work like that because it's two different leagues. Like Lisandro Martinez, I think his qualities can be suited to any league because he's that good technically. I think he's secured. I think his passing range is quality, his temperament, his mentality, just everything about Lisandro Martinez's game. I would think, you know what? Like he can suit most leagues. Whereas I think with Antony, Ten Hag took a gamble because he's seen what he's seen at Ajax, but then again, it's not kind of transpired to the league here, and I'm just like, that was always the risk that he brought, and for the price tag as well. But
Yeah,
he
but you
wanted
could
him that
argue Ten
much.
Hag's not even playing the same football that he played in Ajax. You know what it is, yeah? Maybe he
But
came
then
here.
why not suit him then? Why not
Yeah,
do
but
it to his
maybe he
style then?
came
Why not?
here thinking that he was gonna play a certain way, and he realized it didn't work, and now he's stuck with Antony. Maybe it's that. You know, like that,
Well,
because bro, like there's been a lot of people almost suggesting that he wanted to play a certain way, yeah. Like, and then we got smoked them first couple games against Brighton and Brentford, and then he kind of threw it in the bin and said, "All right, fuck that. That's not gonna work." You know, like that.
oh, in that aspect, yeah,
Man
yeah,
need to do
yeah, yeah.
something else. You know, like that. And then man made changes. He dropped Maguire. He done all these other things, and it's like there's certain people seem to think that maybe he came over with a certain plan, with plan A, and then he was like, "Yeah, plan
And
A is not gonna work. Man, have to do the PMP thing instead, bro."
which is not too bad because at the end of the day you're understanding the Premier League and then you're kind of like adapting to the league, which is good. But obviously, you know what I mean. Plan A should always be Plan A in terms of like Pep Guardiola, whoever. Like they evolve as a manager, but still their philosophy should always be the same. You know what I mean in that aspect. But then again, it's like it's a results based business. You know what I mean? That's why I think for me, we're always going to be a cup team for now until I know otherwise. Until I know there's a proven quality in terms of Harry Kane coming through, or I just know the team's ready to win the league. I'll always think that Man United are a cup team for the next foreseeable future, just because I think the way we play. It's not going to be consistent over 38 games. I just don't believe that. A, the players are not producing in the final third. And B, we don't have enough depth in quality. And just C, they are, I think also the Pep Guardiola's still around, in it, and maybe teams are more polished in their style of play. But for me, if you're a cup team, there's been so many teams that have been cup teams and been successful. You know what I
Mm.
mean? In the league, you have to have a different like your level of football has to be so consistent, you know, like literally 30 games a season, you've got to be good, man. Or at least the last half of the season, you've got to turn the motor like Man City do and just wipe everyone out. Like wipe everyone out. You know, so people say, did he sacrifice his philosophy? I don't know per
I don't think
se,
he
but then again, it's
sacrificed
like,
it, but he's likely adapted it. But this is what you have to do.
yeah,
Like
you have to do that.
we've seen Guardiola adapt multiple times. This is probably his third or fourth formation he's used since he's been at
Yeah,
City in like 7 years.
yeah, 100%. You know what I mean? So I think for me, you know what though, like you know, what I mean, the final. I think this season is so massive for me in terms of like certain games. I want to see better style of football. Like I don't want to just to kind of sit back and camp and then hit people on the break. If that's our ammunition, fair play, you can use it. But I want us to also kind of control games and, you know what I mean, not just kind of like, you know what I mean, always build it on pressure like we did at Anfield, like certain games where it's just constantly, it feels like we're just defending all the time. And then we've
Mm.
got Rashford as one kind of, you know what I mean? Because Antony ain't going to hold up the ball and beat 3 or 4 man. It's only going to be Rashford's pacing behind that will probably have. Obviously, we do buy Hoyland, it's a different situation. Then we've got
Mm.
a different threat as
Yeah,
well.
because he
And
can
that was
move
another thing
still.
yesterday. That was another thing yesterday. The lack of striker was crazy, man. Like Lacazette, yeah, is not a great player in terms of what people want, yeah. But just having him up front, did you see how he was able to link up play? Like we didn't have none of that, and that's why for me, I can't get up to Sancho. I thought he had a decent game yesterday. To be
Yeah,
fair,
yeah,
I
you
think he should
played
have had
well
2 assists.
in the false
He
nine.
should have
Yeah,
had 2 assists. Yeah,
yep,
he
he
should have had
should
two
have.
assists. But that's not his game. It's not his game. You need a striker. You need a vocal point.